everybody, and welcome to the May edition of the EPALE Newscast. I'm Tamsin Rose, your host. Let's kick off our EU News Roundup with some great news. The United Kingdom has officially rejoined the Erasmus Plus programme after signing all of the formal agreements with the European Commission on the 15th of April. The British Council will be the Erasmus Plus national agency for the UK, and students can benefit from this agreement as of the 1st of January 2027. The UK is expected to contribute €655 million for a one-year agreement that should see more than 100,000 people take part in the Erasmus Plus programme. Now turning to Cedefop, which is the EU Agency for Vocational Education and Training. They're holding a research conference in Thessaloniki on the 12th to the 13th of October. And their topic is advancing research on adult learning through quantitative approaches. And they have an open call for abstracts. They're looking for insights on theoretical aspects of measuring adult learning, evidence-based data, survey design and implementation on related topics. But you're going to have to hurry up, for the deadline to submit your abstract is in just a few days on the 15th of May. Turning now to UNESCO, which has just published its Global Education Monitoring Report 2026, addressing access and equity, the countdown to 2030. And this edition analyses measures that are taken by countries to advance the Sustainable Development Goal number 4, which of course is about education. And they use case studies and policy analysis. The report signposts the finding that the cost of education hampers young adults from disadvantaged backgrounds, and countries try to deal with this by implementing instruments such as needs-based scholarships, tuition waivers, and income contingent loans. So you can find out more by downloading the report. And now let's turn to the EPALE platform itself, because we've got a couple of great items I wanted to draw to your attention. So, what does it really mean to be literate in today's world? Reading and writing, of course, are still essential, but they're no longer enough on their own. In our latest EPALE podcast episode, host Heine Huhtinen speaks with Professor Sari Sulkanen from the University of Jyväskylä about the multi-literacies, the broader set of skills that we all need to navigate in a world that's increasingly digital, multimodal, and multilingual. The conversation also touches on how adults develop these competencies through everyday life and work, and why AI tools are making our critical literacy skills even more important. You can find the episode on the EPALE platform. Happy listening. Moving from literacy to the question of where does learning really happen? A new article from our experts at the Lifelong Learning platform argues that the answer goes well beyond the classroom. From community centres that integrate education, culture and social services to schools that open their doors across generations, the piece makes a compelling case for learning ecosystems that bring citizens of all ages together and puts adult learning firmly at the heart of the equation. You can find out more by going to the EPALE platform to read the article. And we have another query for you. What does it really mean to support migrants through education? And are the programs that we deliver actually serving them well? A new article on EPALE digs into the perspectives of 44 adult educators across 9 European countries. And what emerges is a picture full of tension between policy objectives and individual needs, between language acquisition and identity, between professional integration and genuine individual empowerment. The educators interviewed are doing their very best, but many are also questioning the very frameworks within which they work. Are we in danger of reducing people to mere containers of skills and losing sight of the whole person in the process? That's a question that's worth sitting with. Go to the EPALE website to look at the article because we highly recommend reading it. Now, staying with the theme of asking key questions, the adult learning community works on the basis that learning is transformative. But do we really know what the impact is? Our guests today for this webcast are Tanya Moller and Janina, and they're from the research-based Impact Analysis of Erasmus Plus and Adult Education Programs, or the REA-AE network. So welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Can I start by just getting you to tell us a little bit about the network?
Yes, of course. So this network looks at the impact that the Erasmus Plus program has on the sector of the adult education. So the idea of this joint network approach, including NAs and researchers, is to develop a transnational, a European perspective. Also to be able to identify similarities and differences in the participating countries. Why it is needed? Well, not a lot of program research has been done before in the sector. So we think the diversity in the landscape of adult education systems in the European countries also calls for a closer look on the impact of Erasmus Plus in the different systems and on the different types of organizations. So our objective is to address this research gap and to gain more knowledge on who the beneficiaries are, how they implement Erasmus Plus projects, and how these projects create impact on individual, organizational, and system level.
Great. So can you tell us a little bit more what's the current focus of your work and any sort of interesting findings that may have emerged?
Yes, of course. So at the moment, we are in the end phase of our second survey round, which started in the end of 2025. And in this survey round, we are focusing on one of the horizontal priorities of the Erasmus Plus program. So this time, we specifically ask questions about the priority participation and democratic values. And we want to find out in which extent the organizations implementing Erasmus Plus projects address this priority in their projects. And the second thing we are focusing on in this survey round is the impact on individual level in the case of the adult learners who went on Erasmus Plus mobility activities. So we want to find out how those activities affected the adult learners by asking them pre and post mobility questions about their competences and their behavior. So we are really looking forward to those findings, and yeah, the reports will be published in summer, and we are looking forward to interesting aspects.
Thank you. Now, the research is produced by the national agencies for the national agencies, but what might it mean for a practitioner on the ground, and particularly for an adult educator who might be applying for Erasmus Plus funding in the next application round? What should they learn from your work?
Yeah, we believe that evidence is important for everyone, also for beneficiaries, project applicants. For example, with each research round, we also develop policy pointers, which are directed at the national agencies, the European Commission, and also the beneficiary organizations themselves. Policy pointers are something like recommendations. So we support the development of the program on the basis of our research results. We can derive conclusions about what are the supporting and hampering factors of the program, how could you adapt it, or how could the program be adapted so it would be more effective, more efficient, more accessible for beneficiary organizations. So also the beneficiaries can find some conclusions in our reports on what they can do to improve their projects. And also we aim to establish a strong collaboration between the research, policy, and practice stakeholders. So for example, we have an event in Berlin this year in December, which is called Impact Trialogue. And in this event, each member of the network will bring a delegation that consists of a policy representative, researcher, national agency, and also a beneficiary organization. So we want to ensure that also the practitioners are involved in the network.
Great, thank you. Now, as you know, the EPALE community is a very lively and dynamic community of about 150,000 people. So what would you like them to know about your network, and how could they engage with it?
So we would like the EPALE community to know about our network, that we provide comparable data from several countries in whole Europe through a common research framework. And this enables reliable conclusions to be drawn about the impact of Erasmus Plus projects and the different target groups reached by the projects. So for EPALE users, this means we provide more evidence-based knowledge for practice, strategy, and policy. And we as a network also publish position papers containing recommendations such as more flexible funding structures in Erasmus Plus or a better integration of learners with fewer opportunities. So the aim of this position papers is to support practitioners in implementing Erasmus Plus projects more easily. And our network also tries to highlight the value of adult education across Europe and to strengthen its role in policymaking. And we believe that with this, we share a key objective with the EPALE community as well.
Great. Thank you very much to Tanya and Janina for joining us today. And for all of you watching, this tells us that the RIA network can provide, research and background information on context, some information about what works, and all of that might be useful for you if you are currently implementing a project or if you're planning to develop one. So thank you very much. And that wraps it up for our newscast for this month. Just a final reminder to you to please submit your stories for the Community Stories Call, because the storybook will be published at the community conference in October, and we would love to be able to feature your activities, your work in what we do. So please use the submission and send us information about the amazing things that you're doing. Thank you so much. See you next month. Have a lovely time. Bye.